Arteta is just so off the wall.
him.
Yeah.
When he's like, we've got a dog now called Win because that's going to help us. And I'm having an olive tree in my office because of the springs of youth or something like whatever, Mikel, whatever works, mate.
And then they put the speakers on when they were playing
for Liverpool. You know, we walk alone, and then they got like spanked 4-0 or something, didn't they? It didn't work at all.
I am an Arsenal fan as well.
Oh no, God, really? Okay, oh God.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Sport, the podcast that goes beneath the surface of sporting heroes, their highs, their lows and their inspirations from their sporting journeys. I'm Jim Daly.
And I'm Kenzie Finale. And we'll be speaking to Olympians and Paralympians, Premier League winners, England netball roses, rugby stars and more, all to find out about their achievements and successes.
Joining us on today's episode is an up-and-coming women's footballer who's played as part of the grassroots system and made her way to America as part of the scholarship programme over there.
Now she's playing at Chesterfield Ladies and also working for Perform, a human performance company that's based at St George's Park. We are absolutely thrilled to welcome Imogen Fowler to Beyond the Sport. Imogen, thank you so much for speaking to us. What a pleasure to have you here. Right back to the beginning and your first experience in football. We know that you played for a boys' team before you started with Woodland Ladies. So tell us about that. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so it was when I started, a long time ago now, but it was when I was at primary school. I just remember looking for a football team, and back then there was only boys' teams around, so it was just kind of one of them where you got the typical girl in the boys' team. And I just kind of rolled with it really. Didn't really think about it too much because when you're that young, it's more of just you just want to play, don't you? But even like at school and stuff, we didn't really have a football team back then. So it was just a case of when I got the opportunity, just literally play. Even in the garden, I'd play as well. So.
Were you the only girl on the boys' team?
There was two of us actually, which was like a big shock. Like normally it's just the typical one, isn't it? Yeah. But there was two of us, and she was my best friend for years, so and that's kind of just how we all bonded, and just it was great. It was good. Teaches you to be a bit stronger as well, doesn't it, when you're playing with the boys. But again, there wasn't any girls teams around when I was that young, so it was just kind of a case of when I got older, could I find any at that time?
Because kids at that age don't care, do they?
Absolutely.
They just
not.
want to play football, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. They play football.
Yeah,
I remember once I was name drop coming up.
Here we go.
I was interviewing Rachel Yankee. Obviously, like legend of the women's game.
Absolutely.
Such a nice person, and she's told this story before on like various other outlets. But when she was younger, she was playing for a boys' team, but she had to change her name to Ray.
Yeah.
She turned up as Ray to get into the team to play,
way.
and obviously was like the best player in the team. And I was like, wow, this Ray is really good, but she wasn't even allowed to. I mean, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just difficult, because how else are you meant to do it if you've got no opportunity? All you can do is just take what you can get. So, playing with the boys was fine. It's just, what could it have been like if it was with girls? And, everyone's more influenced to play and be a part of it. So, I don't know. It was great. It was still great, but, it's one of them where it's a touchy subject, isn't it? Because it's just, what could have been?
Oh, no, for sure. And the thing is, I think, especially as a youngster, it's quite daunting kind of putting yourself in that position, because we were speaking off air, when I started playing football, not comparing our football journeys whatsoever, because yours has been enormously more successful than mine. But, I was the same as you. I had to play in a boys' team too. And it's so amazing now seeing that, thank goodness, we're trying to catch up, and we are seeing more, grassroots teams for girls, and rightly so. But as you said, you just wanted to play football, so you do that by any means possible. But it's really great to hear that it was a positive experience for you. Yeah.
I mean, I always try to get a positive spin on it, so it's just like, you make good friends either way, don't you? So it's just one of those where you just got to enjoy it.
Were you the best player on the team?
No, I actually wasn't. I'd like to say I am, but I wasn't. I was a bit of a goal hanger. I would just toe poke it in when I got the chance.
Just get the glory.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
to be fair, it doesn't matter how they go in.
It does not.
It really doesn't.
No.
I'll take whatever. I will.
Goal's a goal.
A goal is
A
a goal.
goal's a goal.
We love that. So again, just kind of looking back, you were obviously with Derby County's youth structure before you got the chance to go out to America, which is amazing. We want to hear all about that. So you were on a soccer scholarship out there. So Tell us about that. How is that for you?
Yeah, so that was amazing. So when I was at Derby, I was at Derby under 18s, and there's a few of the girls like just talking about possibility of going over to America, and I was like, what's all this about? So once I found out more, I was like, got to do it. Has to happen. Like, I love travel, I love football, and to study sport as well, it was like no brainer. So got offered a scholarship by a coach in Illinois, and then went over there, and it was just, if I could do it again, I'd do it again. It was
you loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
So how old are you at that point?
18 at that point. So
what was that like though? Because
It's quite daunting.
That's so daunting because that's the age where people generally in this country will maybe move away for university, but actually heading off to America, to Illinois, is a whole different ball game.
It was crazy. I try and think back about it, like what was I thinking? But I think I was just that excited that I just didn't question anything else. Like, obviously, did miss my mum and my family. Don't tell her that I didn't. But I just was excited to go and just see what was out there. You're rocking up to the airport and someone that you've never met before is picking you up, and it's just, you just have to go with it, just roll with it, and just think, oh well, surely it's all going to work out, and it just did. Like, it was just great. Everyone was so friendly, supportive. Didn't have a car either, so your teammates would drive you around, take you to the grocery store,
grocery store.
Yeah.
I love that. Got the lingo.
Yeah, well,
Put
got to
yourself in
fit
the
in
trash
there.
can.
Yeah, well,
Primark.
yeah. So no, it was just good. It was just exciting, and it was just like living like a professional athlete. It was like a really weird concept, because here you're either an athlete or you're not, I feel. And like over there, like, you're just treated like an athlete, you eat like an athlete, you train like one. It's just the best of what you could want at that age, and loving the sport that you do, really.
It probably helps as well that you're British. I think if you're British and going over there playing football or soccer, as they call it, it's like you're like treated like royalty.
Yeah, no. Wherever I went, is that a British accent I hear? I'm like, yes.
Were you like putting it on more? I totally do that when I go to America, because they love it. I'm like, yes, I am.
I remember once being in a Dunkin' Donuts in somewhere south, like Texas or something like that, and I literally went in and said, "Hello, can I get 2 donuts?" And it was like Happy Days. The whole place just like stopped. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh my God, what is that?" Like, because they just hadn't heard a British accent before. So you do realise sort of how far away from home you are. Did you? My main memory is I really missed baked beans. Because they don't do them.
Well, we found some, they weren't great, but we did have baked beans, and like beans on jacket potato and beans. When I showed my teammates that, they were mindful.
Really?
I think really, when you look at it, how awful it actually is.
So basic as well.
It doesn't look appetising, but sometimes you just need that.
Showcasing British cuisine at its finest. We're so cultured, aren't we? But yeah, I mean, love that you had such a positive experience, and obviously, I mean, what an amazing place to play football, because the USA women's team in particular are flying, and an enormously successful team, and obviously soccer in America is just going from new heights, really. So again, tell us what it was like actually playing there. You said you were living, training, eating like a professional athlete, and I think that's something that actually we could improve on here, because the scholarship system is just so great out there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if I didn't go over there, I wouldn't have had any clue of kind of what was on offer. It was only till I got there that I realised, oh, this is actually what could be and what I've got. Like, I'm really, really fortunate. It was like you train every single day, sometimes twice a day. You'd be in the gym, because they're really encouraged just being an athlete over there. Whereas here, I feel like football is more, you're playing with the ball. You do your pre-season, you're running, you're getting fit. But over there, it's like you need to be built like an athlete. You need to be more of like a sprinter kind of build. So you're just running up and down the field constantly. And it's just getting that support as well. You travel 6 or 7 hours just for a game.
Wow.
And that was like standard.
Yeah.
And you just be sat in the coach, you sleep on the coach on the way there, and just you get there, you play your game, travel all that way, and then you just drive back.
And was that every week you did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I was lucky when we got home game, because that was great. But like, that's what it would be. It's literally like, like teams, professional teams here, they jump on a plane. Like, even when I was at my second university, Grambling State, we flew to Arizona to play Arizona State. and then we flew back.
Wow.
Just because they paid, and we just went over and paid.
But again, that must make
how
you
mad is that?
feel like a proper sort of athlete. And
Yeah, it's nice. You're all in your gear. You're all getting
Yeah.
on the plane. It's nice, but it's just mad that that's for women's sport as well.
Yeah. Is there kind of like an assumption that people that are going through the sort of college system, that they are being geared towards professional sport in some way? That it's like, we are making these athletes that will go on to...
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a difficult one. I'd say, yeah, they probably are trying to pump out as many athletes as possible. But over there, like, there's so many sports, there's so many avenues you can go down. I feel like there's more opportunities for that. Whereas like back here in the UK, it's not as same. It's really hard to get into that professional avenue. You've got to try. You've got to know someone or find that little avenue. Whereas over there, it's more, we'll show it all what you can have. You work for it, and if you want it, you can make it happen.
Yeah, there's like, I think the percentages here are probably much smaller than over there. It feels like there's more of like a respect for athletes in the States.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you're seen as an athlete, and it's nice. And you know, even at university, you'll be walking down the hall, and someone will just like say good luck for the game or something like
I
that.
love that.
It's just nice.
That's
Just those
class.
little things that like just make you feel really good.
You don't get that in a British university.
Yeah.
Like, get out, mate. Yeah. Or was that loser in his tracksuit?
Yeah.
It's just different mentality.
But you're right. College sports is just a new level over there. I went to a college football game in South Carolina, and I was kind of gearing myself up for, you know, standing on the sideline with maybe 50 other people. And, you know, we rock up at this stadium with 90,000 fans. Like, it
Mad,
was
isn't it?
the craziest thing. But I was like, how great is this? Because I say these are just college players. Like, this is how it should be, you know. We're breeding athletes, as you say, and it was the most amazing experience. But what we should flag is that you were actually in America during the COVID lockdown. So that kind of must have tarnished maybe your experience, or perhaps not. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so I actually came back during COVID for about 8 months. Had to get a job over here, kind of start up, but I didn't know where we were going. Everything was up in the air, you know, had kind of no really support because no one knew what was going to happen. So I came back and would do classes online. Not enjoyable, I'd say. Not the best thing, and it was just kind of a waiting game to see what would happen.
So sorry, that was classes online for
uni in America.
Okay, so you were still studying from here.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'd order all the university books, and they'd send them over in a big box, and then you just have to study from home. And obviously the time zones as well, so I'd have to get up at certain hours.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I'd be doing that, and then obviously trying to keep fit as well at the same time. It was a crazy time.
How did you manage that then? Because obviously there was a time when, you know, we were only allowed out the house for an hour at a time. So as well as studying, obviously as an athlete, it's so important that you're keeping yourself in prime condition. Yeah. How did you mentally deal with that? But also, how are you actually, you know, training?
Yeah, it was hard. You know, that hour that you did get outside, it was like, I need fresh air.
Yeah.
I need to get out. I need to get out. I'd even, bless her, my mum, she'd do the little workouts with me inside the house, and we'd just get it done. Yeah. You know, she'll love that I've said that, but it's just, you just had to get it done. Otherwise, you know, you just find yourself sitting there, and it was difficult. And also as well, because of COVID, everyone would get an extra year of eligibility. So all the athletes would stay an extra year at university. We all got offered another year. But also gave a backlog, so it was really hard to transfer and go somewhere else. Okay. So it was like a difficult time of, am I going to find somewhere else to go? Because I transferred halfway through my journey to a different university, and it was like, am I going to find anywhere? There's no spaces really, because everyone's staying, because of course you want to take your extra year of eligibility. And then just by the skin of my teeth, the coach called me, and I was like, brilliant, taking that.
So where did you go to? Where did you transfer?
So I went to Louisiana Grambling State University.
Oh wow!
What was that a cultural difference from Illinois to Louisiana? Because that's
yes, very,
two different worlds.
Yeah, it was crazy down south. People are very different, I'll say. No, it was good though. Lovely people. It was one of them. I got a call and I was like, I'm just going to say yes. I didn't see any videos of the school, just looked at the school website and just said yes and just went for it. Yeah.
That's such a brave move. Do you know, I really respect that about athletes, because I feel like the commitment to doing what you need to do is amazing. Like the fact that you were just prepared to go, I'll go there, you know, I'll take the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. Like sometimes it's just, you just got to say yes. You literally do in sport. If there's an opportunity, you just got to take it, because otherwise you're going to be thinking, you know, what if,
I think that's a good kind of mantra for life in general, but certainly in sport. Absolutely, because it's fleeting and opportunities come and they might not come along again. So But to go to the States, 2 different colleges, it's a big cultural difference.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about it, a big smile comes on your face. So clearly, it's good memories.
Yeah, I like to sit and just look through the photos because I forget a lot of stuff, and I need to look back and just kind of relive it. Because if I could, I would do it again every single time. And I would encourage anyone to do it as well. As long as you're okay with living away from home, it's literally the perfect kind of opportunity for anyone that wants to do well in their sport.
And speaking of reliving it, you really did achieve so much out there. So what are you most proud of from your time in America?
Yeah, to be fair, I did quite well. I went out there not expecting anything, just to play and have fun, essentially. But when I was at my first university, so Illinois Central College, I got honourable mention, All-American.
Wow.
So it was
that sounds very cool.
Yeah, it was a nice little title, and I was just like, wow, I just wasn't expecting it. It's nice when you put your work in and you actually get noticed, I guess. It's just one of those things. So no, it was really nice. It was just great, honestly.
Oh, well, very deserved.
Absolutely. Back in the UK now. Yes. Chesterfield Women FC. Yes. Star player. I'll put that on record. I said it. It's out there now. So that's Tier 5. I know you guys are pushing for promotion in the title. Is that the main aim? Are there any other goals for you personally?
Yeah, so title is the main one. Put that before anything. We've also got the Derbyshire Cup, so we just knocked out Derby out of in the semi-finals, which was a nice one. So we've got the final to come up with that, and then personally, I would like to be the league top goal scorer.
Oh wow!
It is in the back of my mind, but first and foremost is team. Have to say that.
How many goals off top scorer are you?
I think 5 at the moment.
That's doable.
It is doable.
Oh,
it is doable.
7 games left, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's doable.
I can do it.
Oh, we back you all the way.
I'm going to try.
Love
It
that.
only helps the team, doesn't it? So.
Of course it
exactly,
does.
yeah. You're basically still putting the team first.
Exactly, exactly.
It's a nice byproduct.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could call yourself top goal scorer, for sure. And actually hearing your goals there and what you're trying to achieve in your footballing career is obviously amazing, but what really stands out to me is that you're doing all of that and juggling that with work as well. So obviously we're in a place with women's football where, we're seeing some players become fully professional, but of course we're still making strides to make that possible for everyone. And I guess my question is, how do you manage that? How do you find the juggle? Because that's not easy. That's a lot of plates to be spinning.
No, yeah, definitely. It's one of those things as well. It's like, because we're trying to get to that Tier 4 level where it starts to get quite serious. It's like, how do I do that? It's like 1 week I'm prioritising this, 1 week I'm doing it the other. Because do love my job, do love the sport. It's just how can I make it work? And it is quite difficult. So we train twice a week and then have a match on a Sunday. And then also try and squeeze in, a couple of gym sessions if I can, get in there. You get to a point where you get a bit tired and overworked, and you kind of have to have a little break and then kind of get back into it again. It just kind of flows in waves, but it's hard. It is hard because you don't get that much support as well. This lower in the women's team. I'm very fortunate at Chesterfield Ladies that the support network's really good and they'll do anything to help you. But it's just one of them. Each week you just kind of take it as it comes and just try and squeeze in as much as possible.
But that won't be the same at a lot of clubs. In fact, we've seen sort of high-profile cases where actually a lot of women's teams are not supported in that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how people do it. It is hard, and you just kind of have to keep going, just kind of keep pushing yourself. And when you've got a good network of people around you, it just helps so much.
Do you think, in a way, we'll look back in 10, 20 years' time when there'll be more support for women's teams at those kind of tiers? Obviously, WSL, we know the support that gets financially and literally. Yeah. We'll look back and be like, I don't know how a lot of these players did this.
How they did it, yeah. It's such a challenge. I guess it just comes down to the person and how much they want it at this point. But I can imagine it pushes a lot of people away because it's just, you can't manage it. It's hard, especially if you want to get to that top level, especially in the women's game, because there's not that much opportunity over here. It's it's all or nothing, and that's difficult when you need to get paid like we all do.
Totally.
It is hard. So it's one of them where you just kind of have to figure out as you go.
Do you think your time in college football, though, because you've already spoken in this interview about you juggled a lot of things at times, and then COVID, that's almost set you up now for this career of juggling things at the same time?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Studying while you're playing as a full-time athlete You're juggling it. You're choosing when's best to sleep and when to get your nap in so that you can study and train and recover. And like recovery is one of the main ones as well. It's like, how can I fit it in to improve but also recover after work and stuff like that, you know, a long 8-hour day and then you got to go training, don't get home till 9:30 at night. It's like, it's quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, it sounds intense.
Yeah, really.
But you get the reward of the game because you love playing so much.
Yeah.
You get that reward of that buzz on a Sunday, especially if you've had a really good week where you've been on top of it. Yeah. And then you go out and score goals, which is your job.
If I don't score, you don't want to be around me.
But you do, so
that's
all good. That's not an issue. We don't need to worry about that. So you're now working for Perform. So tell us about that and how it is for you helping other people within sport.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So I only started there coming up to 6 months ago now. Absolutely love it. Great company. So we're based at St George's Park, which is the home of England football.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely fantastic. And it's great. So kind of my side of the business is I help education groups come to St George's Park. So uni students, school students get to come and experience like an elite performance environment. Yeah. And it's just one of them that I love to do because I would have loved to have done that when I was at school and I was learning. And it's just great. It's nice to share that and kind of, in a way, kind of motivate people. Oh, if you come, you can see this. Look what it could be if you put that work in. Like, or if you want to work in the sport industry, fantastic. This is what it could look like. And then we also work with elite athletes as well, professional footballers, helping them recover, that rehab process. We work with the PFA, which is just fantastic. So there's so many avenues that Perform, and it's nice to just be a part of all of that and just kind of help people on that journey and in that industry. Like the sport industry is like just one of the best, I think, and it's just nice to be a part of so many different little elements in that. So I love it.
It seems nice, like you're able to share your enthusiasm. You're clearly like hugely enthusiastic about football. Obviously that's been made clear in this interview, but in a professional setting of your job, you're able to sort of share that enthusiasm every day.
I couldn't ask for anything more at this point. You know, I'm still quite young, but where I'm at, I'm very satisfied. Like I've got this side that I really love, the professionalism, the job, being at St George's Park, and then I've also got personal sport success. Like I just want to keep growing and improving and seeing kind of where it takes me, really.
And what's St George's Park like to work out? I mean, that must be for a football nut, as I am as well. That must just be amazing. I've actually never been. Like, I'd love to go. No,
it's quality. It's just being surrounded by like hard-working, like-minded people that want good things to happen, and just the professionalism it's fantastic.
It is in the middle of nowhere though, isn't it? Yeah. It's just, I mean, not easy to get to.
No.
Like it's a bit
I would say it's put Burton on the map, if anything.
Well,
Very true.
Yeah.
Sorry, Burton.
No, it's beautiful. But I mean, maybe that's the point. It is hard to get to.
Yeah. But worth it when you get there.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. It's lovely. It is central, which is great for everyone to get.
But
that's
probably
point.
the thinking, isn't it?
I was going to say, this is me thinking. It's
that's
so
why
nice
that's why we don't do planning. It's not in Southampton.
Why have they not considered this?
Personally, to get
Shocking. But no, joking aside, a really special place. And I mean, you're clearly not lacking in motivation, but you know, to be around somewhere like that 24/7, I'm sure is pretty inspiring personally for you too. Kind of looking ahead then, I appreciate this is, I'm sure, quite a way off for you, but kind of looking at retiring from maybe your playing days, which, as I say, I'm sure is a long way off, but would you be looking to kind of pursue an avenue where you throw everything into, you know, your job at Perform, or would you consider coaching and management at some point?
Yeah, it's one of them, like, where I'm at now, I just love it so much, I just want to keep progressing with it and just kind of see where it takes me. Obviously, I'd still love to be playing even when I've retired. You know, walking football probably at that point. I'll have the hips and knees for it. But just still being involved with sport and football as much as possible. It's when you find something that you really enjoy, you just want to stick with it, don't you? And just kind of whatever it is, as long as it's connected to that, I'm sure I'll be pretty satisfied.
Yeah, and I think being around it as well, like I think when you got that buzz from like playing and being in dressing rooms, and then also from the work side of it, like I think you just want to keep that going and be around the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of them. It just makes you happy, doesn't it? So it's just like cheesy as it sounds.
No, I love it. Well, we're both obsessed with football as well, so I think we understand that massively.
And also, what I love about what you're doing and your career aspirations is that you clearly love what you do, and I just don't think you can go wrong if that's the avenue you take in life. If you're enjoying it, then I feel like you've won. And it's a beautiful thing that, you know, you're loving your journey and you're doing amazingly, and we are so excited to follow your career. But we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about your early days in school life.
Lovely.
This episode is powered by Shoshin.
Shoshin are here for the up-and-comers, the never-giver-uppers, the risers and the fallers, fueling the journey of all athletes with quality products.
For every kick, hit, pass, Shoshin are there. Sharing your passion for nurturing athletes. Together, we can empower the next generation of athletes, one game at a time.
Ready to play. Set to improve. Shoshin.
To find out more information on Shoshin and where to purchase their amazing products, visit www.shoshin-sports.com.
Welcome back to Beyond the Sport podcast. We're here with Imogen Fowler, and this episode is brought to you by Perform. Today, Imogen, we're going to go right back to childhood, to school. What was PE like for you back in the school days?
PE was amazing for me. I was the sporty kid in the school. Loved it. Any sport that there was, I'd get involved. Badminton was a big one for me.
Wow.
Absolutely loved a bit of badminton. Rounders, netball, all of it. It was great. The one thing, obviously, we've been talking about football was kind of the back burner one. It'd be a case of, if we wanted a team, I'd have to go around the classrooms and try and see what girls would want to play. Like, never kicked a ball ever, and I'm like, oh, please just play up top.
Yes. You can be left back.
Yeah, please.
You could do the job.
Just go in goal, just stand there. We just need 11. Like, it would just be like that. That would be the one hardest thing, because we'd always want to go to the tournaments, but it'd just be like, we're not going unless you get a team. And obviously you didn't train, the girls' team didn't train, so yeah. But other than that, PE was great, I loved it.
That's really interesting then, that it has been football that is the career path you've taken, given that was that was the sport that was the trickiest for you to be involved with.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'd always be like, you know, in PE it would be you're playing netball or you're doing rounders really, or bench ball, classic as well.
Bench ball.
Good old bench ball. And handball. Did you play handball? Yeah.
Handball as
My
well,
word, that takes me back.
So yeah, football wasn't really, you know, I'd always be asking the PE teacher, oh, come and play football, and they'd be like, no. So, you know, yeah, just funny enough how it ended up just going down that route, I guess, yeah.
And do you think that's part of, I guess, your route you took outside of your school in terms of joining the boys' team? Like, do you think that's where it kind of took off for you?
Yeah, it probably did. It was probably one of them things, I can't have it, but I really want it. Yeah. So I'll make it work. I'll see what there is. And it would always be on TV, you know, Dad was watching it, so it'd always be something that's like in the back of your mind. So yeah, just kind of took what I could get, really.
It does really highlight, though, the importance of, I guess, just equal opportunities, equal access in schools, because had you not taken that intuition to join a team outside of school, you know, we don't know, but absolutely.
Yeah. And there probably are loads of girls who don't have that opportunity or think it's not for me, and actually miss out maybe on a career in a sport that they could really love. Exactly.
And I just wonder, like, some people, have they stepped away from sport in general just because they didn't get to do what they wanted to do? So, you know, because netball's great, but it's not football for me. Like, and I wonder, like, if I didn't push for much as for football, would I have just stopped sport, or would I have just, you know, done it as a little hobby, not really pushing it as kind of a career as much as I can, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, here on Beyond the Sport, Imogen, we love to hear about not only school days, but also any mentors, any teachers, coaches that may have been a really big part of your journey. So was there someone that stands out to you when you look back that particularly inspired you?
Yeah, so I went to Murray Park School, and the PE department there were just brilliant. Just motivate you, just get you doing as much as possible. They were great. There was one teacher, she was called Cass Sargent. She was great. Take that, you know, that extra time to just teach you a skill. Or I remember it was like one lunchtime, and I not played tennis really before, because you didn't really do that at school. Well, the school I was at, and I just couldn't get the technique right. And it was at lunchtime, and she just came over and she was just like, "Oh, this is how you do it." And it's just those little things that like just kind of mean quite a lot to you when you're younger. You don't realise back then. You just go, "Oh, brilliant, cheers, miss." Like that. It's like, nice one, thanks for that. But really, when I look back, I'm like, oh, those little things, that effort that people have put in when they don't have to, but they do, it just means so much, and it just, just helps you on your way, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
So
That could shape
lovely.
lives, couldn't it?
It literally does.
And it's like, 5 minutes out of her time, out of her lunch break.
Yeah.
And actually, that could be, obviously you didn't go into tennis, but
Yeah.
like, it could have been.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was just nice. It's just, those things like they do matter, and it's like it's worth putting that time into someone because it just helps.
But I'm sure that if Miss Sargent was watching now, she'd be incredibly proud of the journey you've been on and what you're doing. Because I think for teachers, they put in that bit of extra because they care.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
it, isn't it? That is it. It's the care.
And also you can pay it forward, can't you? Because in your role now, with Perform, you can almost take that mentality and give that back in the way you're helping other people. So it's like a full
Maybe not with
circle
tennis
thing.
skills, but
Yeah, maybe not the tennis skills.
Great
But
tennis
that's it.
action.
Yeah.
Good forehand.
Everyone just watch this. But no, yeah, exactly. It's nice to share, just any opportunity, because when I was younger, there wasn't that many around opportunity wise. It'd be you either get told or you don't find out, and so if I can just share as much as possible, then I will, because I would want it. If I would want it when I was younger, I'm sure so many people want it. So
Exactly.
It's just share what you can, I guess.
definitely that's a great mentality. Who were your sporting idols growing up, and one you sort of really looked up to?
Just the typical Cristiano Ronaldo.
I love that.
It's typical, but he's great. I love him.
Own it. No, that's
Yeah,
an amazing one.
It's typical, but
Is
is
very good.
yeah. He wanted to be the
He
best.
is.
He was
He's
the
still
best.
playing. He's not bad.
I keep
He's
forgetting
very
that
good.
he's still
He
playing.
keeps popping up where he's at now, and I'm like, you're still going.
He's older than me, and he looks incredible, and he is still playing at a very high level. I mean, the guy's drive, I think, probably his
That's
biggest
the thing,
quality.
isn't it? Yeah, it's just. When I was younger, I used to just watch the video of him. When he was at Man United back in the day, just the skills he would do. It's just mad. I was like, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. So, no, definitely has to be a sporting idol.
Do you think
Depressing
he was...
that you say back in the day, Man
Back
United.
in
To
the
me,
day.
that's like last year.
Yeah.
I swear that was only a couple of years
the
ago.
good old days.
I swear that wasn't that long ago.
Do you think that watching someone like Ronaldo, again, helped fuel that desire and passion from your side to pursue a career in football?
Yeah, definitely. He was everywhere, and it's just watching videos and videos just about his story. He's got I'm sure he had a movie as well that I've watched, and I just watch it and just see kind of what could be. Obviously, it's different for women in sport, but just seeing a glimpse of what that lifestyle is like and how much effort and the motivation and stuff, it's a big deal kind of thing.
I'm sure he had a movie. I'm sure he had aftershave. He has everything.
Oh,
I mean, in terms of like monetizing a brand, I think he's pretty good at
good
that.
at
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's interesting to me, you say Ronaldo and, we joked, but I'm sure anyone involved in football at some point has looked up to him because,
Definitely.
he is just an
Pretty
icon,
iconic,
isn't he?
yeah.
But I guess when you were growing up, when you were playing, women's football is nowhere near where it is now. So you'd like to think that aspiring young girls playing football are seeing the Lionesses, being inspired by them. But of course, as we've said before on the podcast, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So I assume there wasn't an awful lot of women's football being shown around the time that you were playing.
Definitely not.
So I guess for you, how have you found it kind of seeing that progression in the women's game, and how pleasing is it really to see that development and how far it's going?
It's amazing. It's like you can't really wrap your head around it because it's just, because it's been such a short amount of time of how quick the transition has been to, we're all of a sudden going to support women's game. We're going to do this. We're going to promote this. It's just, I can't really wrap my head around it. It's nice to see, young girls going to the games and they're saying that the favourite player is a female player rather than, when I was younger, everyone would say a men's player, because really that's all. I didn't know any female players when I was younger. It just wasn't really talked about. So it's just one of them. It's
Mad, isn't it?
I know.
It's crazy.
And as we know, that wasn't that long ago, as we've already established.
That's the thing. It's
It was
just
literally
weird,
like
isn't
last
it?
year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the progression has been so rapid, hasn't it? But
And the coverage. I
Yeah,
think the
the
coverage, as you say,
coverage is
if you
crazy.
can't see it, you can't be it. Now young girls are able to see Lionesses games on TV, and they're going to games with Beth Mead on the back of their shirts or Leah Williamson.
Yeah.
These are like icons, achievable icons that they can see. They can even meet at games, because the women players are so good at
Take the time,
meeting
don't they?
fans afterwards. I
Yeah.
think that connection is really important. Going back to your time in America, we've talked before about sort of the differences in the education and the way they look at sports people, but I'm wondering also the coverage. I'm guessing the coverage of women's football, in particularly the USA national team, are very successful, would have been a stark difference when you were over there to over here.
Yeah, definitely. Like even our university games would get streamed out. It's just a different ball game, really. Like how much effort that goes into that, and kind of obviously it is they get the money out of it, but they're also putting the money in the first place, which is something that we're getting better with over here in the UK, but it's like so much could be if we just put a little bit more in and would get that more coverage and get that more support. Because like you got the NCAA tournaments over there in America, they're all streamed, you know, all the sports really, it's just all of it streamed, accessible to watch, and it's just over here it's like bit of a back burner kind of thing.
Yeah, it's only more recently that I think the Barclays deal with the WSL was only 2 years ago, or not that long ago. That. So and obviously that's like massively improved coverage, and the WSL YouTube channel is fantastic, by the way. You can watch like literally every game on there, and I think people don't even know about it.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Didn't know about it.
And you can watch any game.
Yeah. No, it's amazing what they're doing in America. They really seem to have got it so right. Do you think that if we kind of implemented a scholarship system over here, then, you know, we'd be onto something really good, because it just feels like they are onto a good thing over there?
I do think so. I think obviously do it differently maybe, or do it the same, I don't know, but definitely taking elements out of what they're doing would be perfect. Like it gives people so many more opportunities, a chance to be seen, like it's just nice. It's just a nice environment. You know, you go into uni and you've got a chance to be treated as an athlete and a chance to kind of show what you can do. Whereas here it's more, you know, you get a few scholarship athletes, but it's not as big of a deal as it is over there. So it is a big difference. I do feel like it would really help a lot of people. You know, there's money to be made as well in it. You know, that's kind of the big thing that everyone worries about as well. Like if you put in, you get out, is what I'd say.
But I think an important thing to add, and we did touch on it, but you know, it's not like when you're over there, you're putting your eggs in one basket, because they're really big on the studying as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think we may have said off air, but, you know, over here, if you play sport, perhaps you may not be focusing as much on the study side of things. So there's that concern that, you know...
It feels, as Imogen said, it feels like an all or nothing over here.
Totally.
Yes,
if you're going to be a professional sports
definitely.
person, that's got to be your whole lifeblood, and everything else takes a backseat, including studies. Whereas actually the American system shows that it's a bit of balancing of the both.
Yeah, definitely. It's student first, athlete second. So being that student athlete, you're considering everything and you're going with everything rather than one or the other. You don't. If you try and do one or the other, someone will be onto you. Your coach will be onto you. Your lecturer will be onto you. Like you're doing both.
But I think as well, like it sounds like the American system gives, you know, not just like a respect to the athletes from people in the game or outside the game, but to the athletes themselves. So I think in sport in the UK, if you haven't like made it in a sport by like 12 or 13, and football probably even younger, insanely, then it's kind of like you're playing that for fun and like get on with like a proper job kind of thing. And I think actually the American system sounds like it makes people respect the sport, and even if you don't then go on to a professional level, you've been treated like a professional for so long that you respect the game in a way that I think then probably makes you a sort of more rounded person, if not a healthier person, just a sort of more balanced approach to that sport life balance. Yeah,
definitely. It just supports you in more ways than one. Like you just hit the nail on the head there. It's just everyone does get the opportunity to experience that, so they know what it's like and they know how much effort goes in from other people. Even if they stop playing and decide to stop, they can see, oh well, I still know that I respect them because they've put all that in. And it's just different, isn't it? It's very, very different. So yeah,
we're quite sort of traditional in this country, aren't we? Like if that's the way things are done, that's the way things are going to be done. But actually I think a lot of people would benefit, whether you're a sports person or not, from maybe a sort of slightly more sort of holistic approach to sport and education.
Definitely, but we may see that creeping in over the years, so it'd be interesting to see how that works. Now, Imogen, if you could speak to PE teachers to give them some words of encouragement, to empower them to bring a positive impression, I guess, of sport, what would you say to them?
I would just say, a little cheesy, but it's more than just a sport. You know, like I was saying about my teacher, like how many like life skills you gain, you know, people you meet, the teams, the bonds that you create. Like PE in sport is just much more than the sports itself. Like goes a long way, doesn't it? you know, and you get so many life skills and you become better and it gives you more opportunities. So it's just one of them that just keep putting in.
I don't think that's cheesy at all.
No, I think that's so
like
true.
Spot
It's
on.
amazing,
More than just
yeah.
a spot. I mean, it's a good little slogan. You should patent that. I think. Is that also kind of the approach that working at Perform? That sounds like the same sort of like mentality, more than just a sport that you bring into your everyday work.
It's that effort that goes into helping people on their way. You know, a lot of people go through big injuries and they need that attention, that rehab, and at Perform, like, we put those hours in to make sure that people can improve and get back to the level that they want to be at, even better. You know, it's that performance support that people need. They want to be, you know, a lot of people do want to be elite and they don't quite know how to get there. And it's like, we can try, we offer that. We want to support you, you know, whether you're just an ordinary person doing PE at school or you're in a football team or whatever. If we can help you get on your journey and get to where you want to be, then that's what we want to do. So that's why it just kind of works so well with what I'm doing.
That's crucial. That's
Yeah.
amazing. If we can go back to 10-year-old Imogen, imagine she's here on the podcast.
Yeah.
What would you be saying to her?
I'd just say, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Just don't give up is the classic line. Just, you've got to back yourself, haven't you? Because otherwise, you know, you can pull out, you can stop things, you can give up, and you just got to back yourself and just, if you want something, just try. You know, even if you don't make it, as long as you tried your hardest to get there, then for me, that's kind of what I'd be satisfied with, you know.
I think that's a good message to any 10-year-old girl who wants to play football that's watching.
I absolutely love that. I think 10-year-old Imogen would be more than satisfied with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I think
Especially
she'd
the
be
goals.
proud. All the
Especially
goals.
the goals.
Had to bring in the goals.
yeah, definitely.
But it's been so amazing speaking with you. Thank you for sharing your journey so far with us. And we are so looking forward to following your career with much interest. And thank you once again.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Imogen.